Welcome to day one of Valorant Game Changes here for FSL. It's me, Omo, and with me is Hey, I'm Quack. Sadly, we're not matching in color schemes today, but that's alright because we're going to bring you some very exciting games for these teams to try to qualify for the FSL Elite happening later on this year. Of course, these are teams that have taken part in the previous Opens, which is why they get a chance to come back for overtime and really try to just clutch it out, as the name suggests, in overtime.
Hopefully. I mean, it is overtime. Things can get pretty tense, when you're playing 12-12. It's like you're not quite sure what's going to happen. And that's exactly what's happening right now. I don't know what to expect. I mean, we do know the names of the teams that are going to play, but we haven't really seen them all that much to begin with, right, Oma?
Yeah, we haven't seen too much from these teams. I'm not sure some of them might have even not played on-stream games in the previous Opens, but that's good because it gives us an opportunity to take a look at some of these teams which we are less aware about, and also, maybe give their prospective opponents in the future Elite tournament to really give a chance to scout them out a little bit, make it a little bit more fair for everyone, have an idea of what they're going to be playing. But yeah, the main thing for us is we're excited to be taking a look at new teams, and it's also, I bet, going to be super exciting for them to play on stream and be cast by the dulcet tones of Hey, I'm Quack.
And a smooth voice.
Not sure. Smooth is not the word I would use to describe it, but yeah, I'm hyped for the games we're gonna see here today. And when we don't really know what we're expecting from these teams, it can get really exciting. It could really go either way. I hate to say it, but it might be a bit one-sided, but I am expecting it to be a super close one because both of these teams seem to be rather evenly matched from what we would expect from them coming into overtime here.
Yeah, this is basically like a last chance qualifier, if you will. And the teams, they have to have played in the previous Opens or at least tried to qualify for playoffs in order to be able to play for the FSL Open overtime. And only the top 3 teams will actually get to proceed. So if we can take a look at our format pretty soon, we'll be able to explain all of that. And there we go, right there. So FSL Open, the top 3 teams on the leaderboard already qualify, and those 3 teams will be Galaxy Racer, of course, Alter Ego Celeste, and Renata's White. They've already qualified. So now FSL Overtime, it's up for the next 4th to 19th. How many numbers is that?
That is about 15? Somewhere around 15.
Yeah, 15-ish teams. And only the top 3 of those 15 will actually be able to qualify for Elite to stand a chance at that huge prize pool, which we will take at a look pretty soon. But aside from that, after FSL Overtime, we still have one more game. That's FSL Wildcard. And then the top 2 teams from those will be able to qualify. So prize pool right now, I mean, this one, it's FSL Open Overtime. No prize pool, unfortunately. Yeah. This is just a chance for them to qualify for Elite. But if they do qualify, then they get to stand a chance at maybe getting their hands on one of those prizes from FSL Elite. I mean, take a look at that, 25,000 USD.
Yeah, it's USD too. That's something.
Yeah, that's a lot of skins. A lot of skins, Omo.
That is a lot of skins, but I think that might barely be enough to buy one of the full Sentinel of Light sets or something along those lines, but it's fine. We have 3 teams qualified already, like we mentioned. It's going to be Alter Ego Celeste, Galaxy Racer, and Renata's White from Singapore and Malaysia. So we are going to be seeing 8 teams total heading into Elite, and that's going to be really the cream of the crop. We're really going to be seeing the best teams there trying to represent their countries and just do the best they can to, like we mentioned, get a chunk of that 25,000 USD prize pool.
And I mean, I think we can count on the fact that, since we don't have Alter Ego Celeste in our overtime circuit for now, no Alter Ego Celeste in the brackets, there won't be any speed runs. I think we can at least say that for sure. The only thing is, though, will these teams actually be able to match up with the top 3 that have already qualified for Elite? And that's what we're here to find out. And we can take a look at all the teams right now. These are the first 8, and this is based off the rankings that we have from the entire FSL circuit as a whole. I mean, through each month, each Open, the teams actually earn points depending on where they place. And right now, just because Lightality, I mean, the first match is actually going to be, I'm just going to say it's Lightality Estelle versus Friends Reunion on the English stream today. There are other games going on elsewhere. There's a Thai stream where Arakat Arresta are playing, and then there's an Indonesian stream as well. But yeah, Lightality Estelle, the fact that they're playing here today, it's actually because they've been trying to qualify for playoffs from the previous FSL Opens. Friends Reunion is another one of those teams. That's what we're seeing. I love the Bebek Gaming logo, just saying. But Friends Reunion, they joined a little bit more recently, so they don't have as enough points. That's why they're ranked number 17 right now.
I'm just curious what their icon is supposed to be. Is that a music note? Like a treble clef or a bass clef? I clearly have no idea what I'm talking about. But
I think it's a letter F. I'm not too sure.
You know what? I think you're right. I read too much into it. But let me point out real quick, Gissy X has actually such a high quality icon right there. That's something.
That's an evil rabbit. Evil buddy. Well, he's made great tattoos. I'm just going to say that. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But moving on to the next, yes. So there we have it. The two teams today, Lightality Estelle versus Friends Reunion. I really don't know what to expect them. I mean, I'm just taking a look at the brackets from the previous month's Open, you know, Open 5, Open 6. They keep trying, but they kind of just get beaten at the very last bracket, lower bracket final, upper final. Lightality Estelle, they lost to Galaxy Racer, they lost to Hashira.
Those are hard teams to beat.
So close, but yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's more exciting that we see them here in a I think we could say less stacked bracket, right? Where we don't see Renatus, where we don't see Galaxy Racer, where we don't see the big one, Alter Ego Celeste. So like you mentioned, no speed runs. We are going to this one not knowing who's gonna win it or not knowing who's gonna qualify, and I think that really adds a couple layers of excitement and anticipation as well. But of course, when we look through the list of team names, there are some that we have seen before, right? Like Aricat is one that we've seen a bunch of times. We're going to expect them to be one of the front runners here. Hashira, Wildfire Sphinx, these are all teams that we have seen before and we have expectations from them. The teams that I'm really excited to watch are the teams that we have not seen before and we don't know what they're going to do. I'm hyped for some spicy things, you know, maybe some interesting agent lineups. We might see things like KO maybe. I don't know if I'm trying to hype myself up when that's not going to happen, but yeah, I'm hyped for the more exciting things to happen, like things that you wouldn't expect from the quote-unquote better teams, which are more likely to play according to the meta.
Oh yeah. I mean that definitely is a thing. You know, to top teams, they love to follow the meta. They stay up to date unless you're you know, Alter Ego Celeste, like from that
whatever you want.
They had just triple Sentinel. Oh, Tara, I wanna try it just the night before the game. They actually did it. It's incredible. Now that's a team that you wanna try to replicate. 3 Sentinel. I don't know. But
when you're the best of the best, you know, then you kind of can do whatever you want. I think it's kind of fair to be in that situation. But yeah, we do have the map pools available already, and that's something I want to touch on very quickly. Like we said, right, we don't really know what to expect from these teams, but it's pretty standard so far. Friends Reunited have picked Friends Reunion, have picked Ascent. Lightality Estelle have picked Haven, and we see once again for map 3, if we get there, it's going to be Icebox, chosen by Friends Reunion.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Breeze was one of the maps that was banned. So, I mean, maybe they're just not that comfortable on it yet.
Thank God. I'm not a fan of Breeze.
You're not a fan of Breeze either?
Definitely not, yeah.
Why not? The
map is too confusing, though. Like, it's too big. Maybe I'm just exposing myself as a bit of a dirty noob. But I think that's the big thing.
It actually, I mean, you know, there are other pros who agree on that note. I mean, 10 sometimes speaks out about Breeze every now and then. It is very huge, so it kind of loses that bit of structure. But Ascent and Haven definitely lends to that note. I mean, structure is something that's very important that when it comes to these two maps. You need to be careful about how you approach them. And Haven and Ascent are maps that these two teams tend to play quite often. I mean, just last month, if I'm not wrong. So they were both in the same group C for Open 6. Unfortunately, did not make it out of there. Lightality Estelle, though, they actually did make it all the way to lower bracket finals, in which they lost to Big Scythe. But one of those maps in those games, it was Ascent, it was Haven. They still lost 13-4 though, so against Friends Reunion, I'm not sure how that's going to pan out, but that's probably why they picked Haven next. So, I mean, we're just going to have to see how they actually match up against each other. That's why we have these games. We get to shed light on the kind of more unknown teams.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we have a pretty nice variety of maps coming to today. It's going to be Ascent, which is, very standard. It's basically the default of all Valorant maps. Haven, which is so interesting with the 3 sides. And Icebox, one of the bigger maps that we have in the pool so far. So I think it's actually a pretty nice mix-up of maps. If we go the distance, if we go and see all 3 maps play out, I think we're really going to get a very good assessment of what these two teams are like and what they're able to do in the map.
Yeah, that's what we're here to see and watch. But I just got a little bit of news. It's very unfortunate, but Oasis Gaming Aqua, the team that we saw,
Yes.
just last week, they were pretty good. Actually, made it to
Yeah,
I guess
one of the
top
better
3.
teams, honestly.
They had a chance. They had a chance to qualify for Elite through this overtime, but they disbanded. Very sad. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Who
it's very
knows?
unfortunate. Maybe this is a bit of a tinfoil hat on thing going on, but maybe they're gonna disband. They're gonna take some time to rebuild their roster, and they're gonna come back in wildcard where there actually is a prize pool. Maybe they're waiting for that one, camping out, biding their time, rebuilding their roster. Okay, maybe not camping it out, but maybe rebuilding their roster is the better phrase to use here. And I think that this is actually such a good team that if they're confident in themselves, they honestly don't need to play overtime, because if they come back and play wildcards, I'm confident that they'll be able to make it.
Yeah, that actually, I want to invest in those stocks right there. I don't have a tinfoil hat with me right now, but if I did, I would put it on my head. And I have to agree with you. I mean,
Yeah.
you saw how they play. I don't know if people in the chat right now have seen last week's Open, but Oasis Gaming Aqua, they were one of those teams that had a very, very strong roster, very interesting strats that they pulled off. Maybe a little bit predictable at times after a while, but they were onto something, and I really hope to see more of them. Maybe we just might be able to see them in Wild Card. I believe that's next month. And yeah, players like Muffin, players like Anko. I mean, that's kind of what brought me to that point about this team in the first place, because they do play a map like Ascent quite often. But the thing is, they have a very interesting approach to it. Usually for Oasis Gaming, they would have 4 players stuck together, maybe approaching a main, and then you have someone like Anko going on a bit of her own solo mission in towards B main, if you will.
Yeah.
And maybe she'll lurk in towards mid as well. And if someone actually does start to rotate, she hears their footsteps, she's going to be the one to catch them off. She's like that bear trap that you step into. And it's very, very strong, very effective strategy if your opposing team doesn't know what you're doing. So if one of these teams today actually has something like that to show us, that will be very interesting to watch.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of the things that we want to focus on in Ascent is how teams make use of mid control. That's definitely something which I want to be looking out for here today. Like you mentioned, right, there's so many ways to use it. A lot of the teams will favor using mid control as a means to access other sides. But like you mentioned, if you have a lurker in mid, that can be so effective when rotations start to come true between the 2 sides as well. So I think that's going to be a big part of this. Agent lineups will take a second to reassess the situation, but Phoenix being locked in for Lightality Estelle is something that we do like to see.
Yeah, not something that I expected. Just taking a look at the brackets and the past matches that they've played, Lightality, they tend to go for that, maybe Jet Reyna combo. Both teams love to go for the double duelist standard composition. Lightality would opt for Omen as a controller as well, but this time both teams going for Omen. Lightality going for Phoenix as the second entry, the second duelist. Friends Reunion, on the other hand, I've seen them, in the match history go for Astra. This time it's going to be an Omen as well. So interesting things here, but let's see how they actually use them. Phoenix will be very useful. I mean, he's kind of been phased out. More teams tend to follow that Sky meta now, but who knows? Maybe Lightality has some neat tricks up their sleeve.
Yeah, and something that we touch on a lot when we talk about these teams is the power of Comfort and the effectiveness of Comfort, which is something I think we want to pay attention to as well, right? Like maybe, I think it's fair to assume that Phoenix is probably one of I'm having a hard time trying to pronounce this, Bielarino, one of her favorite agents, right? That's a very likely reason for why she opted for the Phoenix. Other than that, we're taking a quick look at how nice the new butterfly knives are. Not shilling out or anything, but those are actually one of my favorite knives. The animations are just so nice, as we do see teams start to peek into mid.
Yeah, you talked about mid control, and the defending team like Lightality, Estelle actually are doing a pretty good job at it. You see the dark covers, and that's really what they're trying to go for, trying to prevent Friends Reunion from safely pushing in. But some players have already slipped the net, and Ilama's going to be the first one to find them. Recon Vault goes out, and there's the shot. Hearth getting a second one as
more
well.
close.
They spot the third. Another dig and a kill. 4 already that quick just to start things off.
Okay,
it might have been a reunion for their team name, but no, I think they're disbanding the game.
All right, so I know that Ilama used to play in FSL, League of Legends, another Riot title, but here she is in VALORANT making the swap over.
And there's the shot. Hearth getting a second one.
Seamlessly. Yeah, sorry, okay, a bit of tech issues there, but yeah, making the swap over pretty seamlessly, coming into mid, just blasting them, full confidence, and then just gets the headshots, gets the 4K to close that one off for the side of Lightality.
Really, really quick. I actually thought that she might have gotten caught out with her utility because the opposing Sova was already pushing up. But, you know, I guess just safe enough, you were actually able to back off. But here we go. It's round number 2. And they do have the buys coming in. And there's the Phoenix Flash curveball in. She immediately pushes into it. And Ballerino is looking for the remaining player on towards A main. Very quick.
I like the aggression.
Yeah,
Sherlock, last one standing.
She hears the footsteps, but just can't quite track the heads, and it is a very difficult thing to do when you hear that many footsteps rushing in towards you.
It's a bit intimidating.
You said it. You know, you like the aggression. They are on defense, but they're just going in for it.
Yeah, they know the angles, they know where they need to use their utility. Very good use of the Phoenix Flash to aggress towards A main. I like that coming out of Lightality. And now I want to see what the side of Friends Reunion can do on the full buy round.
Hopefully something a little bit better. And I think because of the full buy, Lightality's probably going to respect this and play a little bit more safe.
You would think so. You would think so. And it seems like that's the case. Just gonna be putting a lot of people here towards Gardens as we see Friends Reunion. They're just running in mid.
A lot of noise too, and I think Hearth knows this, probably calling it out to her team. That's where we're seeing Dumpling watching this very angle right now. Still though, the Leer will be a very painful thorn in her sides. She gets caught up by Athena, and right now Lucille is the only one on site to stop this from coming in.
So far.
Yeah, all the way in from mid. Lucille falling, in fact, just made things a little bit tougher, but still, it is a 3v4, Omo.
It is a 3v4. It is a winnable situation. I'm kind of cautious cursing it a bit, but they are on the SMG still. They haven't bought up yet. It's not the worst situation to be in. 2v3 as they go for the retake.
And one of the players, the Hearth right now, does have the Vandal, but unfortunately will not be able to use it to its full effect.
Crossfire.
And Sherlock right now, Crossfire as well. I mean, you got players, this is the post-plant position that they had, right? You got someone over from lane, someone over from stairs, and even Sherlock, I guess, coming in from CT. They just don't quite know where to look for, and because of that, 2-1, very decent default start for both sides, but let's see if Friends Reunion can actually continue with this momentum.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's still a pretty even one. It's only round 3, and most of the members on Friends Reunion did manage to save their guns, so it's not a worse situation to be in. Now we want to look towards what Lightality can do on their full buy, and I want to point out really quickly that 2 members of Friends Reunion are on the Spectres because they don't have the economy. Ooh, Uzi Boozy, a bit too far out mid.
Yeah, Uzi Boozy just going Y peak. Did not expect 2 players to be staring down her barrel. And that's a very interesting setup that Lightality has just placed down right around Pizza and Market. But right now, still they have to watch out for the push that is coming in through A main. And Ballerino just playing for that little bit of contact. Unfortunately, no one is here to trade. Dumpling perhaps coming in from heaven.
Nice.
Instantly going in as they hear the burst from Sherlock. Just able to stave off some aggression from Friends. Still though, 1 minute left on the clock, and they have some options.
Yeah, they're looking towards mid, and it seems like they're gonna leave one to make noise at A while they rotate away to B. It seems like that's the case, but Athena here, this is gonna be a very dangerous situation. Trying to take the bomb across mid can spell disaster for FR.
Yeah, she gets caught out,
and
then the spike gets caught in no man's land. You don't want to have that happening. Thankfully, Clementine is, I guess, a couple inches behind her.
They see the
will
spike.
be the first to retrieve that contact, though. Yeah, knows that they are there. And that's why we have Dumpling in position here as well. Ballerino, don't forget, is still on the A side, nice but the Paranoia flash comes in, and they instantly left click and hold, spraying and praying for the kill, but they just line up for Dumpling. Talk about dumplings and pot stickers. You just skewer them through with your Phantom.
Oh my goodness, that was just a nice 3K right there. Yeah, just lined them up, collateraled them, and you know, FR, they played it a little bit too slow, a little bit too conservative, ran out of time towards the end there, and Lightality, they just punished, they took the fights, they held them down, and Dumpling with the 3K to bring himself to a nice little 4K, sitting at around 4.5.
Indeed. Very impressive strats from Lightality. I mean, you're seeing these interesting setups. To start things off, they had 2 players just set up, staring at top mid. And then the next time, you got someone like Elima as well as Dumpling playing a contact off of each other. As soon as Elima gets information, Dumpling pushes out the Paranoia, and then they go in for the kills. This time around, though, a little bit more careful. We have the Sheriffs from Sherlock. Unfortunately, they're not connecting just yet at the same time. Couple players dropping all across the map. We might just be looking at a flawless victory here.
Nice. Wow, I love it. Super good round from Lightality, mainly because they saved all their guns. They knew it was an eco, they played aggressively, went out, punished, saved their guns, and this is going to be so big because they start to build up their economy. Look at Ilima, 5.6. She's good to go. She can like die for the next 2 rounds and just still be able to buy, and that is just so important. Friends Reunion, they need to put a stop to this tempo, and they really need to start picking up some rounds, because 4-1, like, you're starting to run away with the half.
Exactly. I mean, if we look at how they've been performing thus far, how they've actually fallen in these rounds, they're kind of going in a little bit dry. Not so much utility. I mean, maybe a bit of paint shells in to block off a short, but as soon as they peek into mid, there is nothing there to back them up, and that is why Dumpling is able to get that intel on them and get the quick double. Thankfully, Athena does make it a trade. Still, though, this is information plenty for Lightality. They know that there are players trying to exert some pressure around mid.
Yeah, goes for 1 more peek at the end there, gets punished, Dumpling, but still picks up the 2-for-1. Pretty nice situation to be in, and looks like FR, they're not too certain where they should be pushing right now. You see the spike at A, but you see everyone else rotating towards B, and the spike just gets dropped at A? This is a bit curious to me.
Yeah, definitely a mistake. I mean, you just don't want to have the spike going solo, getting dropped, and now, like I said before, caught in no man's land. I say no man, but there are 2 players from Lightality watching and covering this one objective. And just because of that, Clementine will not be able to do much. She got the 1, but will not be able to get the 2nd. When forces overwhelm you, that is just what happens. It be like that sometimes, Omo. It be like that.
It really do be like that sometimes. And we do see a kind of sketchy buy come up from FR. 2 members going to be on the SMGs here, on the pistols. But they need to buy up because, like we mentioned, Lightality, they're starting to run away with the rounds. They're getting too many stacked up. But from what we're seeing right now, it looks like Lightality are just too confident. They're hitting all their shots, and the tempo is just so good for them. Friends Reunion, I'm not exactly sure what they need to do. I feel like they need to be avoiding these aim duels and mid, and just look to fight and execute on the side. Nice shot to start the one off. All right, that's what they need. Hit all the headshots.
I guess we talked about avoiding aim duels, but Sherlock is just gonna go in for it. A couple of knife strafe shots, and she will be able to take them down. And suddenly, Athena peeking in from B main. Ilima did not know what to do. Lucille now trying to stop this madness. Will actually be able to pick 2 up. Still, though, hearing footsteps coming in from lane, she picks up the 3rd. And Clementine, for a brief moment of respite, hides up around Canoe. Spots out by Larino, denies the run it back, but still, lockdown being deployed. I don't know if they can retrieve the spike.
Oh, she looks away at the wrong time. That's so unfortunate. By the skin of her teeth, Lucille looks away at the wrong time, gets taken down, and that's exactly what we need to see from Friends Reunion. They need to start getting some rounds. Here we go, Lucille with the lineup, with the 2K. The spray transfer was clean. She gets the headshot onto Uzi Boozy, gets 1 more clean tap onto Athena, and tries to clutch out the round, but ultimately doesn't manage to make it happen. 5-on-2 right now. It's still a pretty close one. It's getting a little bit closer, and we'll have to see if Friends Reunion can keep this going.
Yeah, curiosity kills the cat sometimes, Omo.
It
Lucille, she
does.
had it, man. She had the
It
lockdown in
does.
place and everything, but went in for the peak. Thankfully, this time around, I mean, because they have built up that bank for themselves, right? Lightality, able to
Okay.
buy up, shoots down the recon, but still, here is an execute trying to happen from
Hang
Friends
on.
Reunion. Unfortunately, they
There we
just get
go.
stopped by that nanoswarm right underneath their feet. They're still going in for this though. Lucille trying to make use of the off angle, will not be able to collect on those heads, but Hearth comes back in. She has the blade form, she finds the quick double, and now we are at a 6-2.
I'm actually really impressed by the aim that we're seeing out from Lightality. All their members are consistently able to find this multiple kill streaks and just chain headshots, which is just so impressive. You look at the kill counter right now, everyone is basically sitting around the same kills. 8, 7, 7, 6. This is a team effort. We're not seeing any star players pop off for Lightality, but they're all doing so well here. That round as well, the unsung hero that we didn't see, Bielarino, with the 3K using the, I believe she used the Phoenix out, and then she got a 3K, which is why she's sitting at 4 charges right now.
Yeah, and with 4 charges, you know what that means. A couple more, maybe 3 more. You get your second ult, a second life, maybe a third life.
Oh my goodness, that flick was
Unfortunately,
clean.
no life for Friends Reunion. It's Hearth. She's watching and locking them down with her operator. They have nothing but sheriffs. Still, though, let's see if there will actually be a new sheriff in town. Friends Reunion is still trying to go for this. They're just getting denied, getting evicted because of Alama. Look at this. Recon Bolt, she knows that there's at least one more player stuck in his cuppy.
No ammo.
Land the head. Still, though, hard.
It's alright, but Half is there to re-peek for her, so that's a bit of a team effort going on. Not the worst. We saw Half miss a couple of shots that she probably shouldn't have, but the fast peaks with the pistols were a bit annoying to deal with. And yeah, like we're saying, right, Lightality, when they smell blood, they just go for it, which is amazing to see. I like to see the aggression, I like to see the decisiveness, and I hope they keep this one up.
And on the other hand, Friends Reunion, I mean, they really, really need to take a step back and calm themselves down, because so far they've been trying to push in, trying to find whatever they can, but as soon as they're met with a bit of resistance from Lightality, as soon as something like an operator or Alama shoots a recon bolt underneath them, they just start to panic, they start to fall apart. And right now, again, going in for the aim duels, they're gonna lose the first player, and that's Uzi Boozy.
Oh no, that's gonna hurt, but okay, can't heal yourself up because that just does too much damage. They are inside, they have the side for once. Wow, Half.
Spike planted.
Alright, picking that one up. Still though, 1v2 Athena right now. They have to expect her somewhere around Generator. If not, it should be Hell, and that is exactly where she is. If she stays hidden long enough though, that might be effective. But the nanostorm comes in. She gets caught out because of Lucille. Down to 30 HP. Tries to swing onto Hearth, but ultimately gets denied.
So close right there. Yeah, she nearly got the shot into Half, but Half just that much quicker. It was a very nice attempt from her. Getting flushed out by the nanoswarm grenades comes out at the right time, but still, this is going to be a defender round win, and Lightality pull it ahead to 8-2 right now.
My god, 8-2, and I don't see Lightality slowing down anytime. In fact, the ones who need to slow down, in my opinion, should be Friends Reunion, because they just keep going in. We saw it, they actually managed to get the spike down, but at what cost? They lost 4 players.
Yeah, they definitely got punished at the end of that one in the post-plant scenarios, but still, credit to Lightality, they hit the shots that counts, and I think that that's what we're seeing right here. Fundamentally, they're just doing very well. Caster's Curse hitting me a bit hard, 1 HP for Half as she whiffs on the operator shot.
Yeah, now that they're a little bit more confident, Lightality has been going in for the peaks, just holding angles, and I guess Friends Reunion kind of expect that. They can start going in with the pre-fires, actually dinking Hearth down to 1 HP. It's effective, but I don't know if it's going to be enough, because now that the utility has been spent, they have no choice but to back off and deter the aggression completely. They go into mid where they meet Dumpling, and thankfully Athena makes it a trade. But still, though, they don't have the best buys. They've only got a 4v4. In fact, 2 players are down to red HP.
Oof, that 1
I'm
HP.
not comfortable with this, Omo.
This isn't even red. This is just a grayed out bar on the screen right now. But with the operator, you only need 1 shot. She doesn't make the shot, though. She sees the rotation, I think.
Probably calling that to her team. We see our teammates rotating as well. Ilma somewhere in towards heaven soon. Ballerina will be the first to receive. And the curveball once more catches 2 players.
Wow.
Now on to the 3rd.
No, that's not real.
All that's left is going to be Moxie, but she will ultimately deny that Quadra. Still though, with the Spectre, just can't quite correct her aim on towards Ilma. Gets shut down. And because of this, last round before the swap, 9-2, they'll be able to full buy probably because they saved up, but I'm not comfortable with this scoreline, Omo. Not comfortable at all.
Yeah, this is not looking good, to be perfectly frank here for France Reunion, and honestly, everyone on the side of Lightality, Estelle, has just been stepping up big time. They're hitting all the shots that count, and it applies to all of them. Like, I've seen every single one of the players on this team find a clutch, find a multi-kill, and if they keep this tempo up, it's just going to be so hard for France Reunion to resist.
Tempo is still going up, and France Reunion still adamant on just pushing in ever so aggressively. They're able to take Hearth down, which is nice enough, but they don't quite check the corner, and Dumpling will be able to find the first one before he gets dropped. So 4v3, and they're still pushing in towards B, not slowing things down, not that much. Unfortunately, a bit of a scuffed arrow, but it does create a little bit of space, and in fact, spotting out Lucille might give them that extra information to shut down yet another player. Still though, they lost one more, and now this becomes a 3v3. Lockdown doesn't catch anyone. It buys them just enough time to get the spike down, but will they actually be able to hold the side for long?
Yeah, this post-plant situation is looking a bit iffy because they're all in boathouse. That's a nice one.
Oh my god! Well, Lucille standing still like a totem pole will get knocked down. And Ballerina making use of the run it back. She has a second life at this, but still has to deal with 3 more players. Able to spray down one, but Uzi Boozy just instantly plays off of her teammates' contact. 9-3. That's still better than a 10-2.
Yep, definitely. A very good use of the Hunter's Fury, like you mentioned, to just really knock them down like bowling pins. And of course, my favorite player in this one, Uzi Boozy, with the best IGN of all time, to close that round off as we go into the swap. 9-3. Yeah, it's... I'm looking for a silver lining here, but I can't really find one, because honestly, if you're on the side of Lightality, you just need 4 rounds to close this one out, and we see how well individually the players are doing that. It's hard for me to find a reason to believe that France Reunion can pull it back in this half.
Yeah, logic would dictate that, but let's see.
It does, yeah.
I mean, the toughest thing is they still have to deal with a flash from a player like Ballerino. The curveball cannot be shot down, unlike Reyna's Lear. So if you time it correctly, if you angle it at the correct spot, you actually will be able to make it difficult for people to react to it. But let's see. Sherlock with the first boombot to just get a little bit of information, but they just push in regardless. Thankfully, Sherlock with the bullets straight to their faces, completely stopping this push. Every single player falling and dropping dead. It's a flawless first round victory for France Reunion. That certainly inspires a little bit of hope.
That's exactly what they need. They need to get their own tempo going, and they need to put a stop to Lightality, Estelle, and their train just running out the station completely. That was a very nice one. I think they kind of read the play as well. They had a lot of people stacked on the A side to really just shut down the push from Lightality when it came in. So really nice there from France Reunion, and let's see if they can keep this up. They do have Spectres across the board, while we do see basically full pistols loadout for the side of Lightality.
Yes, that would be the strength of Sherlock on the Rays, as we see. But unfortunately, this time, Sherlock's still on the A site. The rest of Lightality pushing in towards B. They have to be careful about this. Recon Bolt already sent out.
If you crouch, you don't get spotted, no?
No. It still has a direct line of sight onto you, unfortunately for Athena. But she's still able to collect with Ballerino. Just jumps away. But Uzi Boozy right now, lurking over by Cat, actually able to take down Art. 3 remaining players on Lightality's side. They're not quite sure what to do. Want to rendezvous with their teammates, but Uzi Boozy's just going on a tear. Overheals herself as well. They do pick up one Spectre, but is that going to be enough, though? Answer is no, because Clementine, she might have been from The Walking Dead, but this time the dead players are on the side of Lightality.
Yeah, Uzi Boozy with the 3K, and we're seeing the duelists on the side of Friends Reunion start to step up as well. Exactly what we need out of this team if they really want to try to tie this one up. But here we go, gun rounds coming in from Lightality, and I always emphasize this as the make it or break it, the turning point for the rounds, right? Your first buy round. If you win it, you start to build up an economy, you start to get some tempo going. If you lose it, it's back to eco, and that's another round that you probably take an L for. So we have to see what Lightality can do right here.
You don't want those L's.
You don't want them
dubs.
indeed.
You want them dubs. But they have to be careful about this. Unfortunately for Lightality,
nice
oh my god, Sherlock. So much information. Was that like 3, 4, maybe 5 pings? What on earth? Friends Reunion on defense, completely different beast. They're still going to go in for this.
Sherlock has a very nice position here towards Wine, tucked away in the corner with a bit of a steampunk specter going on.
Yeah,
this could be big. This could be really big.
Oh, she hears the drone. Her teammate shoots it down. She's going to let them slip and then come in with a big flank. Here we go.
Okay, they don't need
Not even necessary.
They just tried.
And Uzi Boozy just shut them down. What is going on?
Oh, man.
They only had Spectres, Lightality.
Yep. They ran into the crossfire once again, and I feel like the lineup from the side of Lightality shouldn't be struggling this much to push into sites. Oh my goodness. And this, you know, people always say that FPSs, especially things like Valorant, are a mental game, and we might be starting to see that here today. When they were looking hot, Lightality, they were on fire. And now that they've, kind of lost their tempo, lost their groove, Friends Reunion, they're running away. They have 4 rounds straight in their favor right now.
I gotta agree. Mental game, it's also a tactical game. I mean, they have the weapons, they have the rifles. The only thing is, maybe because light shields, they weren't able to sustain the damage, but they're still just going in for those angels. The same thing that Friends Reunion kind of did when they were on attack. Both teams need to be a lot more careful approaching into this. They need side executes, they need setups, or at the very least, play off each other's contact. Right now, with only Sheriffs, Lightality just going in for the blind pot shots will not be able to get anything, though. And Friends getting information off of this, they're kind of respecting them a little. Look at this from Uzi. The leer onto the floor. That's what you need to do. But this time, Lightality lacking that. They're setting up for the curveball, but unfortunately, Uzi just catching them off with the timing. 3rd kill. And all that's left is Hard. Goes in for the peaks, gets shut down.
Uzi Boozy.
Win stupid prizes, dude.
Uzi Boozy with the 4K right there. And yeah, like, I think the IGN kind of has a little bit of power, right? It really gets you going. Imagine getting 4K by someone called Uzi Boozy. I think I'm just out of it for the next round. And let's take a look at how this one plays out. Of course, it is an anti-eco. She pushes with the utility out, and that's going to be 2 quick kills, heals herself up, a tap, and another to close out the round. This is just very clean stuff from Uzi Boozy. Okay, the last kill, not the cleanest, but everything prior to this, very nicely done.
Yeah, I mean, their aim is getting there. Unfortunately for Lightality, not quite. Going in on attack, again, you've got to be careful. Ballerino, though, trying to make things happen, being the catalyst for her team with the run it backs. They're just trying to stream on the side, but look at this play from Friends. Recon plus dark cover combo. They actually go in with full wall hacks, taking down a couple of players. Still though, Lightality, considering this, still pushing in. Alma re-peeking on towards Market. Unfortunately falls to Moxie, but Hearth just comes back. Ballerino still taking Uzi Boozy down. Lightality coming back for just 1 round.
Yep. And that's exactly what they need. They have to put an end to Friends Reunion and their tempo. They need to get it back on their side, and that was a very nice round from them. I feel like what we're seeing being the issue for Lightality is their executes are a little bit lacking, and that kind of calls back to the Phoenix pick, right? Maybe that's why they think they need the hard flash to get in the sides, but I feel like that's not really helping them too much. They might benefit from, I actually don't know. We'll have to take a look at the executes once again, and we'll try to break it down when we look at a replay in the next round. But that seems to be the biggest issue, and I think they just need to be finding the frags for now.
Yeah, I mean, aside from the Phoenix flashes, the curveballs, you got an Omen. Your Paranoia is such an effective, AoE flash if you actually hit them. That's something that they haven't quite used as effectively yet. Right now, though, the thing that they got to worry about is this setup that Friends have been continuing to use in towards A main. I mean, not much utility this time, but they just let Sherlock walk in towards Wine. If Lightality doesn't check this, that's going to bite them in the back.
Yeah, once again in a very sneaky position here, Sherlock.
Ooh, they just catch her out because of the nanoswarm. Flushed out of position, and Sherlock will get taken down. Hearth playing a little bit more passively this time, up towards mid, will be able to take 2 down. So all that's left on Friends Reunion's side is Clementine as well as Uzi Boozy, all the way on A site. Lightality, they recognize this. Spike gets delivered to B. What can Friends Reunion do in this 2v5 situation?
It's gonna be a hard one. We'll have to see if they can find this one out. It looks like they might just be calling for the saves here, and I think that that's a fine call. You're going into 11. It's not the end of the world just yet. You need to make sure that your economy is in a good spot. 2-on-5 in post plants is a basically unwinnable situation. So I think this is understandable for them.
Going in for the saves. So we just take a look at what Lightality did this time around. I mean, if you think about it, they didn't even push that hard, that much, right? It was a little bit of utility in towards A main, in towards Wine to catch Sherlock. And then the 2 remaining kills just came in from Hearth. And that's because of players pushing up outside of mid. I mean, look at where the blue X's are on your mini map. Hearth was just lurking somewhere around maybe Fountain, maybe closer towards bottom mid, somewhere around Market. She took 1 player down, anticipated another person pushing her outside of B main in towards B lobby. It's plays like this that kind of cost Friends Reunion rounds. They get a little bit too aggressive, you know, on attack. They were just, you know, just pedal to the metal, kept going in for it. They got shut down. Now that they're on defense, they had a good start, but they're starting to repeat some mistakes. They got to be a bit more careful.
Yeah, it's looking like, you know, we talked about this a lot. The momentum, once again, once it shifts back in the favor of Lightality, they are just so aggressive. They run in, control the site, hit every shot, and they just run away with the round. If they take this one, they're going to be on map points here as well. So this is going to be a very decisive one. And it looks like they're just going to hit A hard and fast.
Well, lockdown in towards B, and Athena senses danger, immediately takes 1, but has to back out, narrowly avoiding getting detained. Still, though, this does give the site over to Lightality, and the spike should be getting planted soon. Still, though, right behind them, right on their heels, is Friends Reunion. Full 5-woman force, and they have to be prepared for this.
Yeah, a little bit of low health boss on the side of Lightality as well.
Oh my god.
Nice position from Half though. Smokes the cover herself as well. Clean.
Certainly the MVP for a team, unfortunately, does get taken down by Athena. We're back into a 3v3. And remember, Friends Reunion need this round just to stay alive, to push them out of match point, but they're kind of afraid. They're stationary right behind the site. Thankfully, Sherlock will be able to find one. Turns this into a 1v1, and Clementine spots her out. Jumps off. A straight bullet.
I think that was a bit of a HP bar gap there.
Thank goodness for the HP gap. She gets it by 2.86 seconds.
Oh my goodness.
Close. I'm a bit scared, but thankfully they stay alive.
Yeah, they stay alive just that bit longer. 11 and 8. It's getting a little bit close, honestly. Luckily for the side of Lightality, they still do have the economy to go for full buys. Pretty sure they'll at least be able to scrounge up a half buy if they lose this round. So they're still in a pretty commanding spot. Whereas on the side of Friends Reunion, I feel like if they lose this round, their buy is going to be hurt in the next. So they really need to close this one out nice and clean so that they can buy going to the next round.
Exactly, dude. If they lose this round, match point, you don't have enough to buy. You just might as well just type /FF. Unless, you know, you got skills, but they got to be very, very careful. And right now, similar setup with the exception of Uzi Boozy watching Catwalk instead. Sherlock's still pushing in though with the paint shells. What is... Oh my god. Showstopper doesn't connect on towards Lucille. Still going in for the peaks. Finds the headshot, gets traded.
Yep.
Very close. Could have been a very, very costly play, but thankfully she makes it a trade. So she does have information for her team that, oh my god, in fact, every single player pushing out of B main, pushing in towards mid, they know that at least most of the players from Lightality are in towards A main, and all they need to do is to stop the push. They take Moxie down as well, shutting down the door. Ballerino with the curveballs gets caught by Clementine. We're into a 4v2. All they need is this last kill. Hearth trying to run away with the reloads. Clementine will deny this possibility. And we're still alive. 11-9.
Yeah, I think Lightality can still buy for one more round, so they should still be good here. But yeah, I really didn't think that was gonna work out for Sherlock. But in the end, she didn't need the frags. She just needed the information for her team. And like you mentioned, that was just so nice from them. The wrap around from mid to come back in through Garden and just catch the members of Lightality on A side, kind of with their pants down and just punish them here completely. They did get into the side, but they weren't set up in good positions just yet. And that was perfect timing for Friends Reunion to hit them.
Not bad. You know what they were lacking, Omo?
What were they lacking?
No smokes. Moxie was dead early on.
Exactly.
And Hearth did not use her Cloudburst to block, or maybe she did, but it just dissipated. And that's kind of what you need when you're pushing into a site. If they had a smoke in towards Garden, it might have been better, but here we go. This could be the round that pushes Lightality into match point. Uzi Boozy stops the first one, but gets traded back into a 4v4. And Dumpling needs to be alive, needs to make this execute happen along with Ilama right behind her. Hunter's Fury goes in just to block him off, rotates, but Clementine still takes Dumpling down. If Clementine can pull this off, if she can stop them from pushing in, that would have been good, but no, misses it. We're down into a 3v2, and Ballerino hears this. Moxie gets taken out. All that's left is Athena in towards Garden. 1v3. How do you play this out? Not like that. Not like that.
She had a pretty good angle, but the timing was just unfortunate. Ilama checks the corners and brings the team to map point here.
Oh, man. Thankfully, they won the previous round, so they get the full buy back.
Yep.
But from here on out, match point, you cannot make a single mistake, man.
Exactly. The pressure is high here for Friends Reunion. They need to string 3 rounds together. It's not an easy task by any means, but they'll need to find a way to do it. And I feel like the rounds where they look good are the rounds where they have someone playing aggressive somewhere, getting some information for the team, and that makes it very easy for you to play off of. Looks like Lightality, they're gonna hit B side really quickly right now.
If Moxie can connect onto all of them with her paranoia, that would be good.
Yes, that would be huge.
She shoots it out, but I think it only catches Ballerino. So they slow it down for a little bit, but control still has been granted to Lightality. They're still going in for this. Run it back has been denied by Moxie. And a spike gets planted. Athena, if she uses her lockdown, that would be huge, but she's holding on to it. There we go. Lockdown into place. If she can detain every single player, or at least catch them as they try to push out, that would be huge, but she gets taken out. Ballerino making a trade happen. Clementine collecting onto the player in towards B main. They're looking for
2-on-2
con bolt. You guys got about 30 seconds left.
Yep.
And they're both in towards Boathouse. Sherlock. This is tense. Ilama coming in from stairs.
Nice flick.
This could be it, Omo. Sherlock's the only one left, and she's running out of time. Doesn't even get the shots down. And Ilama will take this for her team.
Yeah, that was just very nice aggression coming up from Lightality Estelle. And I think that the rounds where they saw success were the rounds where they were aggressively pushing, not afraid to take these aim duels, and consistently winning it. Take a look at the top 3 fraggers for the side of Lightality Estelle. 2020-19, pulling the weight pretty evenly across the the top 3 players of the team. And I think that that's really nice to see. You have no star players dropping 30 bombs to win a map. You have a team that's just consistently fragging and being aggressive and pushing together. That was a very nice first map for Lightality Estelle. But for the side of Friends Reunion as well, I want to give some shout outs to the top 3 on their team too. Clementine, Uzi Boozy, and Sherlock. They had some really big rounds to even bring it back to how close this map ended up being. Reminded that I do believe it ended up being like an 8-2, a 9-3 as we went into swaps. So this is a very nice attempt at the comeback.
Yeah, almost came back, but still 13-9, and that was the score. I think maybe they, I do say this quite a bit, but they did lose quite the number of rounds in towards the first half. And
Yeah.
If the skills were tipped, if it was slightly different, they might have just come out on top. Their defense side was not too bad. So, that's going to be that for Ascent. And I gotta say, I mean, some rounds you start to see some players shine a little bit more.
Yeah.
Hearth comes to mind. She had some questionable plays. Sometimes she goes in for those aim duels, which she loses. It's a thing that does happen every now and then. But when it comes down to it, when the spike starts to get planted, when her team has control over the site, she starts to sneak in towards places like logs, and the opposing team, Friends Reunion, just doesn't quite expect it. And because of that, they start to falter and drop. And that is what you want to have in a good teammate, in a duelist who can, dash in and out of risky situations. It's effective. If they can keep this up, we might just see a 2-0.
It is very likely, but I don't want to count Friends Reunion out just yet. I think they had some good moments. They just need to find a way to string it together. With that said, though, Lightality, Estelle definitely look like the team to be looking out for coming into this best of 3. Of course, we are going into a second map after this, which is going to be Lightality's map pick, which is Haven. Yeah, so just a reminder, this was Friends Reunion's map pick. So we'll have to see how Lightality does on Haven. I think that is a map that might suit them quite well, given how we like to see their individual players peeking out a bunch of different angles. If you peek A, B, C, and you get picks in every side, you just instantly win the game. So maybe that's my pick for Lightality for that reason. I don't want to read too much into it just yet. We have to see how that map plays out. With that said, we're going to go into a quick break, and when we come back, it's going to be map 2 between Lightality and Friends Reunion.
And welcome back, folks, to the FSL Open overtime. We just saw Lightality Estelle take 13-9 on the map Ascent over Friends Reunion. Now, moving on to the next map, it's going to be Haven. It's Lightality's map pick. So, the odds don't really favor Friends Reunion right now, but hopefully they'll be able to take this map and push us into a third.
Yeah, I mean, in the previous map, we saw how important momentum was in terms of how the rounds were decided. When one team starts winning, they tend to run on with that tempo for a few rounds. We'll have to see if that pattern holds true here on Haven as well. And if it does, Friends Reunion might still have a shot in this one. With that said, though, I'll have to tip towards the side of Lightality because they just seemed like they were hitting the shots today. They seemed like they were on fire today. Honestly, like the strats and some of the executes may not have been the cleanest, but some of the shots that I saw from this the previous map, pretty insane, like really impressive stuff. So if Lightality can keep it up, I think on a map like Haven, especially with 3 sides, such a big map and so many possible rotational paths, I think Lightality is gonna excel at that map.
Yeah, it does seem like it, but who knows? Maybe someone like Uzi Boozy will be able to play a little bit more loosey goosey and I don't know, show us some skills.
What's right? The wordplay there?
I don't know. Pulling out a little bit of Jack Black, bad. But anyway, it is going to be Haven and Friends Reunion, if I'm not wrong, are the ones starting on defense, which again can be a little bit tough depending on how you play. Haven, talked about it, 3 sites. You got so many different entrances to look out for. If they even let maybe one spot slip somewhere, like something that's not so commonly watched, garage, if Lightality can actually exploit something like that, it wouldn't look too good. So Friends Reunion, or friends of Friends Reunion, let them know, please. You got to play a little more carefully. If they can actually lock this out, if they can actually play it safe, actually hold some off angles, maybe catch the Lightality players in a tactical duel, something that gives them an advantage, they might just be able to perform better.
Yeah, definitely. And when we see some of the executes coming in from the side of Lightality on a map like Haven, I think that's going to be very scary for the side of Friends Reunion. We do see Lightality just favoring, 5-man, running it down into a side. If that happens on Haven where you're spread so thinly, that could just be a really tough situation for Friends to deal with, and they might have to just resort to playing for reticks. So something that I always talk about is defense is always generally easier to play out, right? Because you don't really have to think about too many strats, too many executes. It's more simplistic. Let's not say easier, but it's more simplistic for sure. But on a map like Haven, that simplicity might come back and punish you because you're spread so thin that a very aggressive attacker side can just punish Haven defenders very easily.
Yeah, I mean, you want to think about playing defense, On Haven, you got five-ish entrances. You got C long, you got
Yeah,
garage, you got mid, and then you got A short, you got A long. You
yeah.
got five players on your team. Each one of them have to look out for one site. If
You spread
Lightality
very
just,
thinly. Yeah.
yeah, you're way thin, and Lightality have the option to just rush in, maybe take one player down, and if they are careful enough, that would be the trick. So Friends Reunion, they really do have to play carefully here. If, they have some kind of a setup that allows them to rotate back and forth between sites, maybe play around the links, A link, C link, around something like that. Maybe go with, I don't know, depends. Sometimes I do see them running an Astra, perhaps. That's
Yeah.
something that they did against Arakat Jr., and on which they lost 13-11. Athena was playing Astra then, and Astra with your stars, you get that global ability to just pop them as and when you like. That might be different. You might just be able to slow down rushes effectively if you have nebulas placed, if you have stars placed, sorry, and you pop the gravity well or something like that, actually able to slow them down. On the other hand, though, Lightality Estelle, again, against Arakat Jr., something that a team that they played against last month.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, last month. They actually played a similar agent composition to what they just did.
So Phoenix.
No Phoenix.
Yeah.
The only difference is actually Valerino instead of Phoenix. She went for Reyna. The rest of the team, though, exact same.
Yeah, I think that makes more sense as well because Phoenix tends to suffer a bit on Haven because the angles are just so long that it's very hard for your peaks to have similar effectiveness. Oh, sorry, for your flashes to have similar effectiveness. Something like Reyna with the Lear might just be a bit better. I was thinking maybe Sky if that's the setup that they like to go for. But yeah, Reyna would serve that purpose very well as well, and definitely a very popular pickup here in Valorant Game Changers. So we'll have to see how that one plays out. Like you mentioned, I think Astra is going to be a big pick as well. I personally enjoy Omen on Haven quite a bit because the ultimate is just so effective when you need to go for the rotates, whether on attack or defense. So we'll have to see how the agent select plays out. I do believe we are heading to that one quite soon, and I feel like that would tell the story about how both of these teams really want to play out their halves.
Certainly. But, I mean, at least I guess we can kind of say for sure, Vitality, they look to perform a little bit better. Still, though, Friends Reunion, they actually almost made it a comeback. I mean, I said that the score was 13-9 on Ascent, but you have to take into account, sorry, the end of the first half, it was actually a 9-3. Friends Reunion on the defense, they actually won like 4 straight rounds in a row, if I'm not wrong,
Yeah.
at the start. It's only when the full buy started coming, they started to play a little bit more aggressively, that they started to falter here and there. But if not for those rounds, they actually were fairly close. There is a chance that they can beat Vitality. I think they just got to play a little bit more safe. But who knows? Again, still, this is a best of 3. This will be the second map. If Vitality takes this, Friends Reunion, they get knocked down into the lower bracket. That's right. They are
Yep.
not exactly knocked out of tournament. So still alive for a bit, but afterwards they'll be playing for their tournament lives. So they really, really need to make this one count. It is FSL Open overtime, and the teams that actually make it to the top 3 get to proceed to FSL Elite. So if they really want that shot at playing for FSL Elite, they gotta make these maps count.
Yeah, exactly. And we're in Agent Select right now. We do see the Sova come through very quickly. Again, I think Ilama is a specialist on that pickup for sure. So want to hold that one. And like you mentioned, Bielarino, I have a hard time every single time, is going to be likely picking up that Reyna. It seems like Estra, like you mentioned as well, might be the pickup here for Friends Reunion. So very good calls coming out from Quack, and we'll have to see how this actually goes into effect in game. Sage is going to be one of the other differences as well. We do see that being picked up for Friends Reunion, and it's going to be unlikely that Lightality picked that up for themselves, opting instead for Sova and for Killjoy.
See, I'm not too sure. They're hovering over this. If Moxie, I mean, she's already locked into Sage. If Uzi Boozy goes for Killjoy, that means they're playing double Sentinels. On the defensive side, that might be good, but what happens when they swap over onto attack? So if you're Friends Reunion, you really have to be careful about this. Sage is good, but on Haven, I'm not too sure how effective that could just be. Your walls can only stop people for so long.
Yep.
Your slow orbs, I mean, I guess unless you have lineups, you might not even be able to deny air that effectively. You have to be careful about this. And again, her kit, since the patch, it has been bumped up quite a bit. It's a bit more expensive now.
A little bit pricey, yeah.
Exactly. So, I don't know, man. I don't know about this.
I mean, we have seen some Sages been able to be relatively effective on offense using the ice wall as a way to just block off your run into the side, right? And I think that might be the case here on Haven. I feel like you can kind of do it to some extent on all three sides, maybe A being the worst one. But I feel like, you know, they've drafted very heavily for defense, and they need to string some rounds together here on defense to have a good shot in this map.
And to start things off, okay, so again, Friends Reunion starting on the defense. Lightality will be on attack. This is map number 2, Haven. And it already seems like Lightality are looking to make a C rush happen. And I think that's Clementine's going to be the first one to stop them. She already gets the information, but still, though, a little bit slow. Her utility comes out 1 second too late, and because of this, she gets caught out of position, unable to take down the recon vault as well. It's easy shots for Lightality, and they already gained quick control over this site.
Yeah, completely controlling the site is going to be Lightality. 5-3 as well to take over the defenders. I feel like in these situations, you should just pull out and play for the retake, but that's going to be 5-2. It's looking pretty doomed here for Friends Reunion and the pistol.
I don't know. I don't know about this, Omo. The pull-out game, it's not safe, man. It's not safe. You need to use protection, and still Athena lacking the protection. No cover. She gets caught out in the open area, not around C-Link. Her teammates were fallen as well, so easy pickup for Lightality. Pardon me for that crude joke, but it's still
no, it was a good one. It was fun.
It's a 1-0.
It's a 1-0 to start this one off. Athena with one quick headshot. That's gonna be it for her team, and this is gonna be Spectres across the board here for the side of Lightality. Let's see if they can really run away with this one. And it looks like they're gonna be hitting A side hard and fast this time as well. Whoa, what?
And Friends Reunion might just have gambled right. You know, if they do hit A site, if all 4 players hold down the angles. Okay, Sherlock wanted to go for the peak, instantly gets caught out. She gets spotted by the drone, so now it's just a matter of time. They actually pick up 2 kills, not too bad, but Athena will not be able to connect on the dumpling, and this turns into a quick 3v3. Moxie holding this angle.
Clementine might kill a couple here.
Oh, she needs to time this right.
She hears the rotation.
Let's slip. She has a shorty though, that's the thing.
Yeah, she can't do anything unless they're close up.
I think they heard
unless.
No!
Overpeaks on the angle there.
Yeah, they must have heard her. So, easy, quick rotation. Very good read by Lightality. They actually get control over C site. And because of the rotations on this map, they are just a little bit slower. But thankfully, Moxie with the Spectre right here, right now, is able to take Dumpling down. Heals herself back up. This 2v2 might just be possible.
It might be possible here. The retake is going to be a little bit difficult because of the utility being set up. There we go, alarm bot. And they just clean out Uzi Boosie.
Only one. And there's the second. Lightality, man. They just seem a little bit sharper right now. Watching both angles, 2 players, they knew exactly how to play this as a team. On the other hand, Friends Reunion giving them kind of those 1v1s, and at the same time not winning your aim duels just costs them the round. They actually stood a chance at this, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be. So 0-2 right now. They have their full buys. In terms of ultimates, I guess maybe Dumpling is close to his one, but I mean her one, but it still seems like Lightality are just reading the situation perfectly, very well in fact, and Friends Reunion a second too late.
This might be a round win here for the side of Friends Reunion, though, if you just judge based off the economy. A lot of pistols across the board for Lightality. They want to make sure they can 4-buy up in the next round. If they do somehow manage to steal a win here away from Friends Reunion, then that's going to be huge because they get upgrades without spending. So we'll have to see how this one plays out. Rush into Garage, and that is a very clean spray transfer.
Both are headshots, Clementine. More of that magic, please. Here we go, though. Still trying to make a push in from C-Long. They get denied because of the Astra Nebula. So that one looks a little bit shallow. But regardless, they have pushed off the Lightality players back in towards mid. So good hold. Let's see if they can repeat it.
Yeah, it looks like they're pushing a bit towards mid right now. It's gonna be one traded back. So low though for Lucille.
And of all the players to drop, you don't want Athena because she's got the stars. But still, Clementine and Uzi Boozy. B site can be difficult to take because it's 180 angles, and Moxie just going in for this one. She knows where Ilma is. She's going to take her down with a headshot, and now we're at a 1 and 2 standard start.
Yep, 1 and 2 standard start, and this is going to be 4 buys here for LTY to try to pull ahead a little bit. And that was a bit of an unfortunate situation for them. They lost too many players, lost too much of their health to really be pushing into B side. They tried to get the plant down. Alama even gets the dink at the end there, but not going to be enough. And that's going to be Friends Reunion on the board right now.
Yeah, the way it started out, I mean, the first two players that fell were Dumpling plus one more. I can't remember who, but I think it was Hearth. They tried to make the garage play happen, but thankfully Clementine was just positioned correctly. Here we go, though. Rush on towards C site. Sherlock tries to stop them. The Lear gave away her position. Car takes her down so quick. But still, spraying past the smokes. This is how you want to play as a Sova. Into the dark cover. Recon Bolt just gives you wall hacks. Bless the drone right now. Still, though, lockdown in place. They only have 3 seconds to back out of this. And the spike will get planted. 4v3, and this is still doable for Friends Reunion.
Yeah, there's so many angles for them to look out for right now. The one consolation prize is that no one is coming from long. They don't know it. We have got view, but actually, no, the sentry will let them be aware of that one, so that's going to be nice for them. That's one down. Oh, goodness. Just hitting the shots.
There we go. That's what you want to do. Good crosshair placement, going in, knowing exactly where they would most likely be positioned, and that's kind of the detriment of going for a C rush, right? You might be able to get the spike down, but once it's planted, unless you're able to back off into C long or go for some kind of post-plant setup, the positions on site can be rather telegraphed. I mean, look at how Friends Reunion went in for that retake. They knew exactly where to look.
Yeah, exactly. They know where the typical hold spots are, and that's why sometimes you need to be a little bit more creative in where you hold your post plant set, because, you know, everyone in Friends Reunion just came in, tapped the heads, and got the defuse. It was like clockwork. It's a very rehearsed thing. So, yeah, I think good attempts from Lightality to get in, but they might need to be a bit more creative in the post plants.
And losing that round just means that they're going to be on the back of an eco right now.
Get out of my way!
Still, there is a chance. They're trying to go in for an execute through garage, but what they don't know is that there are 2 players on the other side of this. Still, they swing together as a team. Dumpling takes down one. They might just have picked up a weapon for free. Still, Ballerina holding W with the left clicks. She's going in. She takes Clementine down, gets traded. Dumpling makes another trade of her own too, and they get control over C site once more.
Yeah. They get control right now. There is lockdown available, but I don't know if they want to commit it with a numbers disadvantage here. A little bit of guns on the side of LTY. They do still have 1 sheriff, I believe, unable to pick up the rest of the guns. Athena going to be creeping in. No one is aware of this just yet.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, the last 2 are on long.
They're long. I'm wondering what weapons they have, because if it's frenzies, it might not be the best, but it does seem like Dumpling has some kind of a rifle. Oh no, Athena just going in for it, plus the Hunter's Fury. They actually make a thrifty work, and Dumpling with a 4K of her own.
Yeah, they get the upgrades as well, which is always so nice for a thrifty team. Dumpling sitting on 8 right now is definitely leading the charge here on Haven.
Yeah, that's how you want to do a C rush. I mean, this time it wasn't as straightforward. They went through garage instead, but once they got the spike down, they set up for the perfect post plants with the Hunter's Fury from Elama. That's what you want to do. This time, without those ultimates, only Ballerino and Dumpling with theirs. They're kind of playing a little bit more slow this time, perhaps. On the other side, though, Friends Reunion, they have 4 ultimates, so that's something you got to look out for. Still, they're going in for that early mid control.
Yep. Gonna be playing very heavily towards garage and B right now. Nice little dot to chase them out.
Yeah, at the very least, it's a bit of information for Lightality. And now they suddenly decide to go in for the A push, and Clementine getting a little bit too curious. Gets caught out. Athena. Whoa, Lightality playing so clean. Still, though, they lose one player thanks to Athena's crisp headshot. Then the push comes in. Dark cover to block things off. It's a 3v4 retake, and a good one at that. They actually managed to push Friends Reunion back for one more second. They get the spike down safely, and they have time to set up for the post-plant positions.
Half in a very nice position right now. It seems like they do kind of expect it, though.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It must have hurt the updraft, but lockdown into play makes things even tougher for Lightality, but they're still landing the shots. Oh my god. They knew that they would be pushing off of that lockdown, so Dumpling just held the angle. 1v3 now for Uzi Boozy, and she's just rushing in. Lucille hears those footsteps all too clearly, knows exactly where to look, knows exactly where to spray. It's a 4-2.
And this is Lightality once again starting to string some rounds together. This is going to be eco for Friends Reunion as well. I'm a little bit worried here because we've seen what Lightality can do when they get the tempo going, when they get rolling, and you know, momentum's in their favor. So we'll have to see, maybe not this round since they're on full ecos, but we'll have to see if in the next round Friends Reunion can put a stop to this.
Maybe at least not for this round. Just like you said, I mean, eco once more, and the momentum's starting to build up for Lightality for sure. And now that they're feeling so confident, they're just rushing into Seaside once more, but thankfully Uzi's here to stop the first. A little bit too risky.
Right, they get to 1.1 actually.
They get control over the side as well. How are you gonna retake with a shorty, right? It's too far, too difficult.
It's the worst feeling, yeah.
Oh, and VALORANT is just hunting for kills right now. At this point, you're just waiting for death to come. You're digging a grave.
She knows where they are.
But Sherlock's not giving up. This is not bad. She finds another one with her sheriff, goes back in, suppressive fire to collect the weapon, but
no.
all too clear. They know where she is.
Turns the corner to the firing squad. Yeah, that's a bit of an unfortunate situation to be in right there. But Lightality, yeah, pretty decent anti-eco, only losing one. And now we'll have to see what Friends Reunion can do right now.
Yeah, this is the round that they really need to band together and stake their claim. If they lose this one, what is it? Back onto another eco, and then the momentum starts to build up again for Lightality. It's already coming in pretty strong. I mean, 3 straight rounds in a row, and you don't want to let this happen. So Clementine with her operator. Remember, they still have quite the number of ultimates to work with. Yep. This should be good, but unfortunately, she does not connect onto the first shot. It gets sounded off, but VALORANT just pushes into this. Taking initiative, making use of that reload from the operator, pushes up, takes a kill, lockdown as well. 3v5 at this point for Friends Reunion. It's I don't see it happening.
Oh, they're just running away here. I'm not sure if they even want to attempt to try to go for the retake. I feel like they have to. That's one. That's two.
Not bad. Both sides getting a little bit too aggressive. The Friends Reunion just playing a little bit passive at the right time right now, but
oh no,
getting caught out with the knife in hand. All of a sudden, their advantage has dissipated. Now all that's left is Dumpling, but the quick spray transfer, double headshot, and then the third, a 1v3 clutch.
Dumpling, you gotta chill right now. That was insane. The spray transfer, very clean to the dropping member of Friends Reunion as well, dropping from heaven right into the waiting arms of Dumpling and flicks right back around, gets the member coming from shot. Super nice stuff there. Double the frags of the next closest person on the team. Let's take a look at this. Goes for the blind, gets one, flicks to the second, spray transfer as well, and is aware of the third one coming in from the flank. Super clean stuff here to clutch this one out. Sprays the bear on the wall for good measure as well, and that's gonna be Dumpling. Yeah, double anyone in the game, seriously. This is a very impressive performance coming up for her, and this is gonna be 2 and 6 right now. Lightality starting to run away with this one.
Truly impressive stuff. And unfortunately, it just seems like Friends Reunion making the same mistakes again. They're going in for this and they just get shut down, dismantled completely. They've lost control over the seaside again and again. 2v5 at this point. Make that a 1v5. what are you gonna do, Athena?
It's such a tough situation to be in. Her teammates just drop like flies. That's why.
And we said the same thing earlier on. There was 1, that was 2, that was 3. She got 2, but it's not enough. Without her teammates, without the proper holds, they're just losing control. And when it comes down to it, yes, you are playing on defense. Yes, defenders, I guess, kind of have the inherent advantage of knowing where the attackers need to attack into. But without the numbers, you're just not going to be able to do that much when 5 people start rushing you down.
Yeah, it's really such a tough situation to be in. Her teammates all dropped right there, and this is kind of why we expected Lightality to excel on this, their map pick Haven, because they just like finding the duels, they're good at it, and it's exactly what we saw with no Sherlock.
Oh, they can just rush into her at this point. There we go. This is the same mistake. They keep going for these aggressive peaks, and they keep getting punished for it. Getting caught out in aggressive forward positions as well. Moxie's gonna drop, and they get the spike down on B. Oh my god, so sharp from Ballerino right now! She's getting the 3rd! And all that's left, Lone and Soul Clementine, all the way from A-Link. Holds the angle, dark cover as well, and right now they're just gonna hunt this down. Unless she's able to collect a collateral or something, it's still just not gonna happen. 8-2 right now for Lightality. And it's the end of the first, well, no, not yet, but this is very dangerous for Friends Reunion.
Yeah, this is pretty much the same situation we were in on Ascent as well, right? Because we saw Lightality pull ahead to an 8-2 on Ascent 2, and then Lightality dropped a couple of rounds. Friends Reunion managed to string a couple of rounds and get kind of comeback going. We'll have to see if that's the case here on Haven as well. Lightality, they have 2 more rounds in this. They'll want to close it on a 10-2. We'll have to see if they can do it this time around, though.
See, the thing is, their agent composition would be good for this, but they're just a little bit too aggressive. This time around, playing a little bit more careful, but Sherlock, she's getting a little bit inquisitive. They do have quite the number of Killjoy utilities being set up in Garage. If she just stays put, if someone peeks into it, the alarm bot goes off, she might just be able to get the free kill, but she has to be patient. The rest of the team right now on Lightality, though, 2 split forces in towards A, and Clementine, not watching this, just let them leak in.
Oh no, I feel like she has a sneaky suspicion, though.
Oh my god.
Utility out and she sees someone.
Uh-oh, she got spotted.
She has every bit of utility available, though, so that's gonna be useful. Oh, the smoke just whipping by.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's a bit of unfortunate timing with the spray there.
Oh,
nice headshot.
To start things off, but it's still a 4v4. Goes back in, wallbang onto that one. Oh my god, a direct hit from the Hunter's Fury. Right now in towards the 2v2. Resin from Moxie might just be able to push this into a 3-8. They gotta go in, and they gotta go in now. Dumpling again, holding the off angle. This time will not be able to convert on towards Uzi Boozy, but she just bought enough time for her team. They can't get the spike defused.
They didn't manage to get the kills, but they managed to get the clutch. Like you mentioned, time was not on their side there. So many things happening that round, right? I think the best part was when we saw Clementine get hit by the Hunter's Fury in Heaven. A little bit rough of a situation to be in. And at Ilamar as well, the wall from the Astra dissipates right as she peaks, which is just so unfortunate a situation to be in. But like you mentioned, Quack, it was enough time that they did not manage to get the defuse. And 10-2 looks like a very realistic possibility here. Low buys on the side of Friends Reunion. Either half armor or Spectres. This is going to be a tough round for them.
That's painful, man. Again, Clementine, the only one on A. And right now, they're just making the C rush happen. Not a single player can deal with this. Sherlock, though, with a quick double just might do it. Quickly dismisses back into its Garage, but unfortunately, Dumping is here to take her off. Moxie makes it a trade. We're into the 2v2. Hunter's Fury coming in from Clementine right now. Denies the plant. And they just might have bought enough time to push back into its sight, but they're watching the angle right now. Clementine takes Ballerino down. All that's left is Alama. And she wants to take this duel against Clementine.
Oh no, she looks away.
Suddenly switches on towards Moxie, but leaves her back exposed. And because of this, It's going to be 3-9. That's right.
Yep. Not the worst. Okay, well, I was trying to find a silver lining, but that is a pretty bad situation to be in. Props to Clementine, though. That was a very nice play from her part. The patience to not re-peek, wait for a teammate to come back around, and then go for the double peek. That was a very nice touch there from Clementine. And yeah, like, this is kind of what we saw in the last map as well. They picked up the last round on the half, and as the side swapped around, we saw France Reunion pick up pistol and get some momentum and run a few rounds. So we'll have to see if that happens this time around. I think it's going to be a little bit difficult here, but we might see them be able to stage kind of a comeback again.
That's right. Difficult, but not impossible, right? We always have hope. The only thing I can say is that maybe there's a slight ping disadvantage because we can see that Friends Reunion, they are playing from India or Bangladesh. They've got about 60-80 ping, so trying to play aggressively at such a high ping might just be a bit detrimental, but still, they're going in for the slow-ish A push right now. Dumpling, though, with a full sudden push in through mid into its window. If they hold them off, Dumpling might be able to create a big play. She's just going in for it. It already picks up one onto Clementine, and all of a sudden,
stuck.
Yeah, Friends Reunion, like you said, stuck. They're not quite sure what to do, where to go. Taking down Dumpling, though, they should be able to get the read that C is open, and that is where Moxie is headed towards, but they have to watch their backs. Still, Uzi Boozy watching it is not going to be able to collect the kill. The jump peek from Alama.
Last one standing.
1v4, man. 1v4.
It's a tough call. At least she got the plunge. Oh, does not manage to get a kill. It's going to be a tough situation.
Losing the pistol when you're at a 3-9, it's going to be a 3-10, first of all. Second of all, opposing team gets a huge economy boost. They're going to buy up Spectres. How do you defend? I mean, how do you push against that now? Are they going to force this?
I'm trying to find a you know, like something that you can look out for on the side of Friends Reunion. The good news is they did get the plant, so they'll be able to scrounge up some buys. It's not comparable to what we see on the side of Lightality, right? Light armors, lower utility, but they'll need to find something here. It's not even about economy or anything like that anymore. It's just, you need the rounds at this point.
They need the rounds, they need the duels, and they need to be careful once more. Alama, getting a lot of information off of this, knows that they're making an A play happen, and because of this, look at your mini-map. Vitality again going for the aggressive mid plays, and right now, if they're not careful, they just might get pincer from the back.
Yeah.
Already, though, getting Alama will grant them control over the site. They need to make a quick play and get the spike planted. Bailurino just disrespecting the smoke, pushes past it. Clementine says, no, you stay put, and still, it's down to a 3v3. They have control over this, but no one's watching Heaven. Lucille gets a free kill. Gets a couple of tags as well. Clementine comes in from the back, takes her down, stuck in a 1v2 now. 4 HP? 4 HP? How do you do this?
If she drops, she dies.
Information,
she can't drop.
She can't drop. No! Not like this! Clementine! No!
I think that's the idiom, you know, up the creek without a pedal. I think that's the one that they say, you know, she really had no player left available to her, and it's just such a tough situation to be in. She found one, but it wasn't enough, and the post plants did not go in favor of Friends Reunion right there. It's gonna be too hard a situation to come back from. They're on full ecos right now, 11 rounds in the pockets of Lightality. Estelle, how did they really come back here?
Are they forcing again?
They have to. I don't know. I feel like they want to, but
it's gonna be 3-12, dude. 3-12, and you're back on Spectres. Well, yeah, your opponents have Spectres and stuff too, but
But your opponents will be able to full buy after this. If you lose this, you're on a full eco at match point. It's really just damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? So what can they really do here? I think, you know, making the call to just all in, send it, do your best.
Send it.
I can't really fault them for I can't fault them for it. They're just calling to send it, you know.
Still,
oh, do we see a timeout? Oh, technical pause. Actually, I kind of missed that. Not used to the new overlay that we're having here.
Still, only thing. they're not giving up, and that's what I like about Friends Reunion. Still staring down the face of death. They're saying, not today. We're buying up Spectres. We're going in with full heavy shields. We want to take you down. Even if it is 3-11, even if it is 3-9, they just go in for it. And I can respect that, but they have to make this one count. They need to make this work. Otherwise, it's going to be another round lost. They're trying to make a C split happen, but look at the quick reads from Lightality.
Yeah, they smell this.
Oh, man.
Fires. Oh, no. Lucy misses the shot.
Oh!
It's doable here. 3-on-1. Just in a blink of an eye.
Suddenly, I mean, they might have gotten the good reads, but they weren't expecting them to come in with a buy. So getting a little bit too aggressive, getting caught out in the open. Lightality are down to their very last player, and that's Alema. She does have a Spectre, does have light shields, and quite a bit of utility. In fact, a full belt right now, but still, this is difficult.
No time or place to use them, though, is going to be the issue.
Standing ahead.
They know she exposes her location.
Ah. Well played by Moxie.
Yeah. But the thing is, you know, the journey of 1,000 miles and everything, but this is just a very small first step here for Friends Reunion. Lightality, they lost, but that means they get the full buy up right now. It's kind of a sketch situation for Friends Reunion to be in. Light armors, Spectres. They'll have to do the best they can to really keep in this one and not give away map point or match point even just yet.
What I'm worried about is what happens if they do lose. Because then they might not have
full
enough
equals,
for
they're going to be full equal on that point if they lose this one. So it's a very difficult situation to be in, and we'll have to see what they can do here.
Still, they're playing a little bit more slowly this time. We do have Sherlock just pushing up mid, takes down Dumpling, and that just might have been an opening. Invites Ballerino to peek out of garage, and that's where she gets punished. Does she spot Lucille's head?
Yeah, I think she saw it peek out for a second. Oh, ow. Ow.
Okay.
It happens to the best of us. It happens to me all the time.
They're very annoying.
Very much so, yeah.
Still, though, they do have control over the C site because of these opening kills, and...
Oh, no,
Sherlock! Unfortunately, not able to spray Lucille down. We're back into a 3v4, but there is that Sage Wall that you talked about earlier, Omo. It does block Garage out completely.
They spot on Moxie, for what it's worth. That's one. 3-on-3 right now. They're not gonna expect the one in smoke, though. They wanted the one tucked away.
They should. Just blind spray will catch Hearth square in the face, but Lucille and Alema make quick work of the remaining players. All that's left is Clementine, who comes up clutch. 2 hit shots back to back, and she makes the 1v2 work.
And that's gonna be the round going over to the side of Friends Reunion. We are starting to string things together. We talked about how they couldn't lose that round. They genuinely could not afford to because they'll be on full equals in the match point round. It's good that they managed to pull that one back. It's still a very uphill battle for them, and we'll have to see what they have to do here if they really want to keep in this game.
They have to keep this up. It's 5-11. And a deep, dark cover coming out from Dumpling. Makes them question mid. But the Aerodrome calls it clear, so they're just going to push into this. So the fact that Lightality are on nothing but ecos on pistols is a bit of hope. Dumpling pushing up and out, though, will get denied by Sherlock. Lightality are all pushing up.
Yeah, and this is what we do like to see from them, right? This is when they look their best, when they're aggressive, when they can find shots. Well, they're trying to right now, but that's going to mean that C is left open, and that's going to be a free side take here for Friends Reunion.
So they go into C, but Ballerino with the frenzies just peppers Moxie, takes her down, buys a little bit more time, but still 4v2, well, with 3v2 now. They got the spike down, they still have the weapons, and Lucille is pretty much stuck over by garage window. Hearth coming in from the back, though. That's one headshot. That's the second kill. What?
That's bad. That's a really tough situation now for Athena. 1-on-2. She knows at least that they're both in garage. Oh, that flank coming in here from Ha just closed out the game here for Lightality Estelle. She caught them unawares in garage and just killed them with the ghost. It's just positioning, timing, and angles. That's the key to it here, and she managed to do all three.
Quick executes, knowing that, you know, the fact that they got kills in garage is kind of a giveaway.
Yeah.
So Athena knows where they're positioned, but Hearth just dashes out, gives her a rabbit to chase. She kind of traced her crosshairs on her, and that's where Lucille peaks.
Yeah, exactly, and that's very good timing. You know, it's very good team play, interplay between the players on the side of Lightality Estelle. It's something we probably should have touched on a bit more, but it's definitely really nice to see them peeking at the same time and covering each other. Lucille gets punished here.
Wanted to take them down while they were collecting the ult orb. Gets punished instead, but still, Dumpling immediately comes into support, and right now Lightality, thinking that it's a C hit, have rotated over.
Yeah, they're kind of getting faked out right now. This is a very nice rotation. Oh, Sherlock. That's one.
Well, elementary, my dear Watson. Lightality are just reading and finding all these clues. They get read back, but still Athena coming up around A. A little bit of a brawl on all sides, but this one brings some normalcy back into the game. Locked down in towards this, and they're not shooting it down. In fact, they just want to stop the plant from coming in. Uzi Boozy goes in to tank it. I don't know if that was the best choice. Clementine's coming around back, which might be good, but she has to stay alive long enough. Uzi Boozy already dead, and Athena gets spotted out right now. Clementine, she cannot walk any longer. Position given away because of the recon bolt as well. Hunter's Fury in to deny the defuse, but in a 1v3, they can just rush her down, and that's exactly what is happening. She takes Alema, but the defuse happens regardless. 13-5.
Yeah, you love to see it there from Alema. A little bit of a swagger coming in with the classic noise. She doesn't need to win the duel. She just needs to buy time for a team to defuse.
Oh no, that's the thing. When you're using a Hunter's Fury in a 1vx, you kind of leave yourself exposed because you're getting caught out with that utility in hand.
Yeah, exactly.
So kind of unfortunate. 13-5. They were starting to string a little bit of a comeback, but still
a little too late, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a bit unfortunate. Commiserations to Friends Reunion, but they're not quite out of it just yet. Just reminded, this is going to be a double elim format for overtime. So Friends Reunion, they will just be dropping down to the lower bracket. They have a second life in this one. Meanwhile, congratulations to Lightality Estelle. They're going to be advancing to the next round of this, and they're going to be trying to make it to FSL Elite here. I do want to point out really quickly, though, I do believe Half was in the top 3 fraggers for Lightality in the last map. This time around, not having the best game. Had some good rounds, but Dumpling stepping up big this time around. I think that was a 400 ACS. Oh, sorry, that 300 ACS. Yeah, 400 would have been too insane. 300 ACS, still pretty decent stuff. 22 frags for a team. You know, this is a very nice performance coming out from this team, and I love to see that, you know, when some members are having hot maps, other members can take it slow. When some of them are starting to slow down, the rest of the players can pick up the slack, and that's what you really need to see.
Yeah, I mean, just taking a look at the stats, aside from combat score, you got 4 first bloods coming in from Dumpling, 4 first bloods for Ballerino as well, and that just shows that Lightality, when they're feeling themselves, when they're confident, and when they know how Friends Reunion tend to play, they know exactly how to punish this. They just go in. Several times on the first half, we saw Lightality just rushing down C, and it actually worked out for them because they knew exactly how to execute. You got the utility coming in, you got Ballerino with the Leers, and unfortunately for Friends Reunion, they just weren't stopping or adapting to this. I mean, sometimes we would see them actually try to go in for the aim duels where they get punished. If, you know, some other times they actually used a bit more utility, right? You come in with the smokes, you come in with the... I mean, they had 2 sentinels to stop this. On those rounds, it actually worked, but yeah, it's just they were a little bit late to the party. They were a little bit slow on the reads, and unfortunately for them, it's the same story. Losing too many rounds at the first half. Second half, they were losing out here and there as well. 13-5.
Very convincing stuff, though. I do have to say, Lightality, this is a pretty much a statement game for them. They looked really good in Ascent, and they looked better in Haven. The thing that really stood out to me was the fragging power and the interplay between the team members. They would always be peeking together, they would always be there to refrag, and they just generally tended to be hitting really good shots. Like, they hit so many headshots. I didn't quite manage to catch the headshot percentage stat there, but I do believe, like from what we've seen in the game, Lightality really on point with that. And I think that this is definitely a team that we should be looking out for going forward in overtime.
In terms of aim duels, definitely Lightality, they have been fragging out, and on the other side, Friends Reunion, unfortunately, I think if you can't out aim your opponents, that's where you have to think about the strategical adaptations. You need to out tact them instead, play them out tactically as opposed to going for those aim duels and trying to take them down with your guns. I mean, it sounds weird because Valorant is an FPS, but it's mind games as well, and that's where the mental aspect comes in. And Lightality, we got to keep an eye out for them. Players like Mylarino, Dumpling, Hearth even. I mean, this map, maybe she didn't perform as well as her teammates, but still good enough. When they start rolling, and when they start to build up that sense of momentum, they start winning rounds, they get really confident, and sometimes there's no stopping them.
Yeah, I really like the aggressiveness that we see coming out from a Lightality. I like seeing them push out on offense, on defense. It doesn't matter. When there's a duel to be taken, they'll go for it, and it's generally pretty successful for them. I don't know if it's just because, they're that much better than their opponents, something like that. We'll have to see as this tournament progresses, but I really do like that aggression, and it makes the games really fun to watch. Hopefully they keep that, that style going forward, and this is definitely a team to be looking out for.
Yeah, but that's going to be that for today. Yes, it's only one best of 3 for today. Unfortunately, we do have a lot of other teams, a lot of other games, all trying to qualify for FSL Elite right now. This is the FSL Open Overtime, so hopefully this one best of 3 have whet your appetite a little bit for those viewers at home. We have another best of 3 coming in tomorrow. We'll be moving up forward in the brackets. And, as the days go on in towards the weekend, it's going to get even closer, even tighter. And the top 3 teams, that's the ones that we want to look out for. They get to qualify for FSL Elite. And honestly, usually I would tend to think of teams like Wildfire Sphinx, Eric Aresta, Hashira maybe even. Well, Oasis Gaming, but unfortunately it is suspended. But right now, Lightality, they're looking pretty good. So, gotta keep your eye out, and more games tomorrow. If you want to find out about the updated match schedules, like what's gonna be streamed tomorrow, you want to take a look at the FSL FPS Facebook page. I think it's facebook.com/FSL FPS games, if I'm not wrong. I'm not too sure, but take a look at our social media. It's all there. We have updates, and you want to follow the Twitch page as well. And there are other streams as well for different languages, Thai and in Bahasa Indonesia. So please take a look at those.
Yeah, we don't exactly have the updated match schedule out just yet, but keep an eye out and then come back tomorrow because I don't know what teams are going to be playing, but I can guarantee you that it is going to be a banger. These teams are fighting for their lives. They want to get into Elite. That's where the big bucks are. So yeah, we're going to be seeing some good games for sure.
25,000 big bucks. A lot of skill. That's like... I can't even count, like 250 recon Valley Solars or something along those lines. But whatever it is, it's a big game, big competition, big tournament, and that's why they are all here. So more games tomorrow, guys. And again, quick shout out. Thank you to our sponsors, Intel and Yahoo. That's why we're able to do all of this. But that's going to be it for today. We have been your casters, Ham Quack and Omo right here, very handsome. Do you have any closing words?
Come back tomorrow. We have some good games installed definitely the rest of the week as well. So make sure you guys come back same time, same place, and we'll have some good games for you. See you guys tomorrow.